Frank J. Avella with the Contending. Frank Dillane won the In Certain Regard Prize for Best Actor at this year's Cannes Film Festival for his impressive work in Harris Dickinson's directorial debut, Urchin. I'm pleased to be speaking with another Frank today. Hi, Frank.
Frank, it is always a pleasure to meet another Frank. I feel like we're a long lost family.
I agree. Uh, Congratulations. It's an amazing performance. Uh,
Thank
so,
you so much.
yeah, I wanted to tell you that I really appreciated this film on a personal level as someone who's lost best friends to addiction. It felt very honest and very real.
I'm glad.
So, Frank, tell me, how did the role come to you?
I just basically auditioned for Harris. I went into was called in by Shaheen Baig, a really good casting director who's been a huge influence in my life, and I just went in and auditioned with Harris basically.
Wow. Well, is it, do you get super immersive? Like, because this really felt like an embodiment.
Um, Yeah, I think that's the job of the actor is to immerse yourself in your character's philosophy, to lend your yourself to their story, So I try and do justice to all my characters and dignify them and try and try and do the best job I can do.
You mentioned dignified, and that's one of the things I loved about Mike is that he's sensitive, he's vulnerable, and he's got great dignity.
Hmm. Yeah, that was something me and Harris spoke a lot about, and something that was really important for us all the way through was just making sure that had dignity, and if ever we weren't sure which way to go with a scene, or it could go this way, it could go that way, and neither of us could quite conclude it. We always were like, okay, what's the most dignified thing in this moment? And dignity can take on all sorts of colors. It's not necessarily that he acts with dignity, but that the his heart is dignified, or that we're not parodying him, if even if he's acting ridiculously, we're not humiliating him. He's human, and he deserved grace.
There's a great blend of comedy with the pathos. And I'm assuming that was built into the script, but you worked with Harris on it as well. Can you speak a little bit about that collaboration?
Yeah, I mean the humor was something that Harris really, really wanted, and kept hammering home that this was that he wanted humor and lightness, and I agree. I suppose at times I found that quite difficult to laugh at Mike. It wasn't I didn't find much about it funny. I watch it back and I understand that the humor allows for more dignity. But also, I want to say that people who live vicariously, or maybe have living outside of society, maybe who don't have so much money, who maybe are struggling, are often the funniest people. I mean, when you've gone to the ends of your own sanity, there's not much left but to make a joke. You're standing on a corner, you've got half a bottle of whiskey left, your friend's stolen your phone, you can't get into the hostel, It's like it can the circumstances of suffering can become so absurd that there is often nothing left to do but laugh. And I think people who are who are find themselves in those sorts of situations are the wittiest. They have the greatest sense of humor. It's us middle class, stuck up kind of people who take themselves too seriously sometimes. There is a lot of humor in this film, and there is a lot of humor on the streets, and it can be incredibly slapstick at times. Life in general, but circumstances when living uh, precariously or vicarious, I never know which the word is. Can be kind of surreal, and there is nothing left to do but laugh.
I know it's true actually, and uh, what I find so interesting is that any of us could be Mike,
Hmm.
you know? Like
Yeah,
situations change and they
yeah,
can change in a heartbeat sometimes.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I have a friend who I was talking to today who's sleeping in a garage at the moment, and he's an amazing artist and all this stuff. But the wealth inequality is getting greater. The situation is becoming mm, arguably more and more desperate
Yeah.
for some of us, and much better for others. And yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the crux of the film, and I speak of this a lot, but this othering of other people, this idea that like there is some other person who is okay with sleeping in a doorway, and I'm sure that there's exceptions to this rule, but it kind of feels how you think it might feel to have no money and to live rough and to not have a family supporting you. And those stresses are, it's you, it's me, it's just different situations. And often the thing that can lead us to that that bottom, that rock bottom, are very simple and very mundane. They are a family member dying. They are a girlfriend leaving you, losing a job. I mean, it can be as boring as that. Not that death is boring, but there is a mundanity to the kind of fall that I think that often people again imagine, yeah, not me, someone else, but not me. But yeah, Mike is all of us.
He is, and I think the film also shows the importance of the human connection,
Mm,
you know, how
absolutely.
we need that.
Absolutely. I mean, that's all we've got at the end of the day, and I think it's the thing that people spoke to me about the most was this feeling that like they are being alienated. You're not being looked at. Like people are often not even begging; they're just sitting there. And I know it from myself. You've got things to do. You carry on with your day. You walk on. And it can be incredibly demoralizing and it can be very frustrating. And I think that essential human connection, if that goes and if you're robbed of it, it can become dangerous. I
Yeah.
think. I think humanity is kind of all we've got.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to talk about a particular scene because one of the things I loved about Mike is that he is so nuanced, and I love that when he's presented in front of the person he's assaulted, th there isn't a big mea culpa about it.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, that scene's an interesting one because I remember getting to that scene and being like, what, what do you want? Like, what do you want? And I think Harris and I, we both just were like, let's shoot like what it is, and what it is I think that as human beings and maybe addiction plays into this, we kind of compartmentalize and forget. And we kind of, in order to carry on, like, ah, yeah, that thing happened, but it didn't really happen. And never mind, it's gone. It's the past, the future. Let's move on, And I certainly know some points in my life, the past comes and slams you in your face and you're forced to confront yourself. And we can have opinions about how we would like people to behave in that moment that like you cry and you say sorry and you grovel for forgiveness or whatever it is. But often the reality is you feel maybe you feel that it's unjust. And in Mike's circumstances, I remember playing him in that moment. It was like, what do you want from me? I got no money. Like I was strung out on drugs. My friend had just robbed me. You got a nice watch. You'll be fine. You know, like I went to prison. I served time for this. What more do you want? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But it's dog eat dog out there at times.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to also talk about the atomic kitten scene because
Mm,
it's a lovely and shattering and sweet and sad and because all Harris did was he focused the camera on the
mm,
three of you, and
mm.
it's an incredible scene.
Yeah, it is an incredible scene. God bless Harris. He's such a he's a bit of a visionary and I'm very grateful for that scene and very grateful for his sensitivity and his understanding of simplicity. Um, I remember that scene. I couldn't stop crying. And we had to keep going. We had to keep shooting it again because I found it so heartbreaking. Even now when I think about it, it's so heartbreaking because in many ways it was the wholest and happiest Mike had been possibly in his whole life. He was finally had a secure a home, somewhere to close the door. He had made new friends. These women had included him in their gang. They wanted him out to go out with them to have a good night. Um, he was sober. There was a possibility of a future, and those lyrics that Atomic Kitten wrote. It's such a brilliant song, and I found it really difficult one to film. Quite heartbreaking.
Frank, I won't keep you. I could speak with you all day about this film, but my last question is two-pronged. What was the con experience like, and what can we see you in next?
Cannes was surreal. Yeah, I'd never been to Cannes before. To be amongst my peers and like my heroes were there. Was extraordinary, and to win best actor in certain regard was I never won anything before. I won one trophy in football once, soccer, for players player. So all the players vote for who they think the best player is, and they voted me, and I'm pretty sure that was ironic. I think it was a joke. So a part of me still is like, this better not be some fucking practical joke. This better not be a sarcastic award, guys, because that would be very cruel.
And up next for you, I know you have Sense and Sensibility, right?
Yeah, Sense and Sensibility is the next thing. And then we shall see. Yeah, there's a few things, and I'm you know I'm waiting and seeing, and seeing how things pan out and all of that political jargon.
Well, Frank, thank you so much for taking the time out to chat. I can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you. I hope to talk to you again.
Likewise, take care.
All right, mate. Bye.
Bye.